And here they come out for the under-20s match, and number 36, Callum Eardley, 37 is Callum Lawrence, 29 Dean Pettit, 30 is Anthony Wood, 32 Harrison Frendo, 35 Flynn Goodman, number 1 is Ben Kelly, number 11 Tom Carriers Cox, number 18 Danilo O'Brien, number 5 Josh Williams, and number 16 Liam Ryan. There will be some subs: Regan Payne, Joseph Lee Carter, Chandra Bright, Darcy Hall, Brendan Short, and the coach of course is Ben Heron. And for Hamilton, 22 Jacob Kresner, 23 Jared Muller, 25 Bailey Pummel, 26 Elijah Harrison, 27 Alex Green, 28 Carl Picos, number 30 is Chai Davis, 33 Woodhide Dreamer, 41 Lachlan Ferry, 63 Tom Stewart, 43 Clay Fuchon, the subs will be 32 Tim Stewart, 62 Steve Fios, 64 Vince Uni, 31 Jack Stewart, and of course they're coached by Daniel Hawkins. Robert Taylor is the referee, Hayden King the assistant, and Mitchell Lyne the other assistants as we get ready for the toss. Heads or tails? And Adamstown, I think, is going to go towards the Brunker Road end. Glebe Road end, yeah, I'll get my bearings before the end of the afternoon. Now we're off and running, so support Adamstown.
Let's go, mate. First start again. First start. Right, the plate. I just got my plate still. He's with you. Yeah, right. It's not like you. No, the dude's like standing over the ball now on the outside. He's not like 25. Oh, you would have done it.
As much as it's engagement is my
Joshy, tuck in! Joshy, tuck in!
There he is. He's over there.
Harry, let's shot it. Yeah, come here. Come here. Early. Head out, head out. Come on.
Brady, no call. Don't get too hot. Yeah.
Stay up. Let's organise. You got three there. Let's organise. Talk, Liam. Hey. Slide, count, get in.
Pretty sure he's just turned like 17. He's like an answer thing, so he was yeah, but he's doing like
Hurry! See if you can finish with Joshy there. If you play there for out, yeah? Joshy.
Are you going to do? Yeah, you do. There's resource on chips.
Straight out!
Yeah, I'm not done right now.
Five! Joshy, back inside, organise. Count in here!
Not him. Oh no,
How do we get it? Danny,
they both the one who's like 7
Even if you need to store it.
Just as a pet. When those started like 53, 52, going and then he'd be late for 5 minutes and he'd be like, yeah, he was 52. Yeah, we can get here. And then he started. No, we walked in and he saw you go, you do it, boom, and fly like that ball. You like break the kids up, yeah, you like take them touch the wall. It's far away from the shop. Yeah, it's like as soon as we walked in, I'm like, where's drunk? Oh, good, yeah. Well, you're right. It's my skill. Like I said, I take it close. Now it's close. Good stuff.
I think they went up I already gave you like.
When you carry on like you're going to let her go. They may be coming on. One less
Madness coming very soon, let's keep pushing! Keep going, let's here we go, lads, come on! Come on, let's
Oh, man. Every state I have, like,
Still 0-0 here, and we've got around about 9 minutes or 8 minutes left in this match. Anybody's match to half time to see who can get the lead.
He's got his death out.
Half time, and it's 0-0 in the under-20s match. Been a very entertaining match, and at the moment I'm watching number 16, Liam Ryan, for Adamstown. I think he's played a good game so far.
Must be some.
So don't forget the 130th Gala Ball, and we've also got Linda Gabriel, who's sitting in the front seat of the grandstand here to answer any of your questions and to arrange tickets for you if you want to go to the 130th Gala Ball. It should be an exciting event. I think it's June the 22nd, so Saturday, June the 22nd for that Gala Ball. And don't forget our major sponsors of Avid Project Management, United Sports Club and Kappa Australia. Without them we wouldn't be here. And the minor sponsors, Hunter Law, DJ Gardner Homes, Broadmeadow Physiotherapy, Queen's Wharf Hotel, Drive It Safe Driving, Phil Pine West, the Edgeworth Town Centre, of course Ray White Real Estate, Colliers International Newcastle, Forsyth Advisors, Inside Building Services, In Touch Magazine, Barber Industries and the Sign Shop, all supporting Adamstown Rosebud Soccer Club here on Anzac Day 2019. And it's been a great day so far. The Adamstown Rosebud Football Club invites you to the supporters' 130th year of Football Gala Ball. Saturday the 22nd of June. It's going to be in the Starlight Room at West's New Lambton. Tickets are $150 per person. And you can visit www.proticket.com.au/events/details 5059. Or inquiries are arfc130ball@gmail.com, or you can make it simple and just go down and see Linda Gabriel, who's in the front seat, or you can go to the canteen. They'll put you on the right track if you want to go to our Adamstown Rosebuds football 130 year of football Gala Ball. So please try and see if you can get along to that and help support the club. Coming up to the second half of this exciting match, the under-20s match, the under-18s match was won by Adamstown 2-1, and it's 0-0 at half-time, and I think it's a first place, second competition. Adamstown are on top of the table, and Hamilton Olympic running second at this stage, so it's a 1-2 combination. Let's see what happens in the second half. Right, another goal to Adamstown. We're just trying to figure out who scored it. If you'd like to turn around. I'm going to say Pettit. We won't take that goal away from Anthony Wood, who scored the goal, number 30, Anthony Wood, Dean Pettit. I'm sorry, you don't get that one.
Every week. And then the guy that went off in the game, he was commentating, you get a mention, like, oh, hey,
Was that when it was like low? Yeah, it was like low coming out. Just before half time.
Drop it! Come on! Help, drop it! Let go! Let go!
He's in Jimmy's
birthday.
Yeah.
And Tyler's already. First grade for them. When he didn't get to it. Everyone would just get cut because like they used to play this. Yeah, for one season. And they got into the road.
I did not think he was
Ty Davis has come off for Hamilton Olympic, and going on was Kane Turnbull.
But like, when it comes to anything that's like not diving to the kicking the ball, he's like the hard, but throwing the ball the hard. Imagine how they feel. In your phone before review. But then apparently like we had like a fight. Like pick the ball. We had to sell it because we couldn't take out the rent because we lost everything. And then it was only until recently that such a good youth.
Right.
A goal to Hamilton Olympic, scored by Jared Muller. And it makes the score 1-1. We've had 56 and a half minutes worth of play.
he was got he's bet on the weekend to get shot. So he's you bet on my Thomas was he told me that. Yeah, but you know why? Just so they can pay it free. Like, who's sponsored it? Yeah, Valentine, which is Luke's dad. And then like, Luke's going to pay James and jealous. Some people say my dad's sponsored. Oh yeah, they're so good. Yeah, I think Greg's over there. I could just say my dad's yeah, I could do it for my dad as well. My dad actually is like this. I can do it for my dad. Just say it for my dad. And then you say it. Yeah. Pretty simple. Yeah, pretty I want to get the name. I don't know if he used to hide last night. Oh, really? I feel like he's just saying that because like, he's playing Go for that.
Now, Regan Payne has gone on in number 26, and we've got Tom Carrier's Cox off in 11.
Yeah, but it wasn't all. That's 1-5 lost one. An Olympic is by 6 points.
And another goal to Hamilton Olympic, and that takes the score to 2-1.
Hey, drum the whistle straight away. Here it comes.
You're striking out.
Apparently.
Please say for Olympic.
Very good, Jim. How you had to do? Oh, yeah. Blacker.
No! No, racing your... But they've scored...
And there's another goal back for Adamstown. Glenn Goodwin watched the replay of that, and that penalty was definitely deserved, and that brings the score to 2-2. 2-2.
He got red card.
You can understand the first one.
Well, I've been up in the if you're going to do a certain score, do 11-0. One big shot. No, he's
Hey, got to attack!
the ball goes half. Can make it under 4.5.
Your presence in the box.
Under 4. Wait, how much would you put in? You might also, I don't know why.
Back in.
Oh, there's heaps of people there. We're supposed to be stand behind the Olympic basket. Does that mean both teams to score? No, No, only one team. One team with those two. Wait, is it 2-2 for Adamstown? They just got... Like, not it's like 5 minutes ago. I'm tripping.
Get in the box, please! Hey, cover! Go forward! Go!
We gone now? Where do you want to sit? Yeah, just go sit here.
Oh, you can play two up to that.
Where do you want to sit?
Very good! Come on, Sam! Like here, here it is!
It's like the 130s. From Wednesday on, that's the 30s.
Now!
No one knows the fight.
Just throw it back like a just run through the 10 minutes. Please,
Go, Reagan!
yeah, I reckon.
Reagan, let's go! Reagan, leave it! Leave it! Leave! Harry, forward! Back, Harry! Good day! Good day! Let it go! Come on, Ollie! We go!
Full time, and we have a 2-all draw here at Adamstown Oval, and we had goals to Adamstown for Anthony Wood and Flynn Goodman, and for Hamilton, both goals scored by Jared Muller. Great match, and congratulations to the guys for putting on such a good match.
Good afternoon and welcome to Adamstown Oval on a stunning Anzac Day for the first match in round 8 of the NPL Northern New South Wales as Adamstown Rosebud play host to Hamilton Olympic. It's 4th up against 10th on the ladder. Olympic flying high at the moment. They've won their last 2 and 3 of their first 6 inside the top 4 on 10 points. And Adamstown Rosebud, they've won just 1 of their opening 7 and they've lost 6 of those first 7. Really difficult start to the year for the Rosebuds. Now we are going to pause for an Anzac Day service which will commence in a couple of minutes' time, and then it will be myself and Chris Turner to call all the action with kick-off predicted to be around 2:40 this afternoon. So we'll pause and the Anzac Day service will commence shortly, and then commentary from 2:40 in this match between Adamstown Rosebud and Hamilton Olympic.
Now, players coming out for the start of the main match. The Adamstown team, 19, Finley Beasley. 2 is Chris Berlin. 8 is Judd Duncan. 6 is Alex Graham. 15, Drew Grierson. Number 9 is Connor Hayden. 4 is Ben Higgins. 23, Talon Martin. 24 is Daniel Eisenhauser. 17 is Manoli Papazopoulos. And number 7 is Matthew Zaluski. The subs will be number 10, Chris Berlin, number 1, Ben Kelly, number 3, Luke Rutledge, 16, Liam Ryan, and 14, Aidan Von Essen. Shane Campbell, Sherry is the sheriff, is the coach. And for Adamstown, Hamilton Olympic, it's number 2, Kyle Hodges, number 3, Reese Pettit, number 4, Cody Lucas, number 5, Marcus Duncan, number 7, Jared Sutherland, number 8, Jake McGuinness, number 9, Jed Hornery, number 10, Reese Cooper, 11, Scott Pettit, 16 is Sunichi Kawachachi, number 21 is Jez Murray, the subs will be 12, and that's Tom Stewart, 15, and that's Ren Fukumoto, 34, Jacob Kresner, 18, Jared Muller, 61, Jack Stewart, Peter McGuinness is the coach. The referee will be James Cleel and the linesman will be Robert Taylor and Hayden Hughes. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you all to stand for the remembrance service? They shall grow not old, They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Least we forget. And the catapult party dismounts. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, good afternoon and welcome back to Adamstown Oval, an afternoon which allows us to put sport and life in perspective and to remember those who went into battle and never returned to thank our returned servicemen and women and those currently in the armed services. So often sport is referred to as a battle or a war, but in reality it doesn't even come close. But what sport does is it brings us together in times of hardship, like the impromptu matches played between British and German soldiers during Christmas in World War I, enemies on the battlefield but friends on the football pitch. The power of sport is incredible. So great to have your company this afternoon. Adamstown Rosebud at home to Hamilton Olympic. 2 changes for Adamstown from their side, who lost 2-1 last weekend to the previously winless Lake Macquarie. Goalkeeper Ben Kelly has dropped to the bench, as has striker Chris Berlin, while defender Josh Williams is out of the squad altogether. That means 21-year-old keeper and former Olympic player Daniel Eisenhower will start between the sticks, while centre-back Ben Higgins returns alongside Alex Graham. And for Olympic, they've also made a goalkeeping change. Tyler Warren is out suspended after receiving a red card in their 2-0 win over the Jets last weekend. Reece Pappas is also out of the side with a hamstring injury, so that means Jez Murray and Japanese import Shinichi Kawachi come in to replace him. A stunning day in Newcastle. The temperature currently 26 degrees with a cooling easterly blowing across the ground towards the camera at about 10 kilometres an hour. Our referee for this afternoon's fixture is James Cleal. And just those early results, the 18s, Adamstown 2-1, and in the 20s, a 2-2 draw with Adamstown winning a late penalty and putting it into the back of the net to snatch a point against their local rivals. 2 home grounds that are very short distance apart. Hamilton Olympic and Adamstown Rosebud. This one really is a local rivalry. So it's Olympic in the blue and white to kick us off from left to right of screen. Reece Cooper and Shinichi Kawachi in the centre circle. James Cleal about to send us on our way. It's Anzac Day football in the NPL Northern New South Wales. And Chris Turner, can Adamstown produce a kind of performance they displayed 2 weeks ago against Charlestown, but has gone missing in recent weeks?
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, I'll tell you one thing I can say in this Anzac Day football match is Adamstown are probably the underdogs in this one. Well, not even probably, but they made some changes this week to what they've had. And they're up against an Olympic side who are looking for, I believe, 3 in a row. You'll confirm that for me in a moment. And in good form.
Yep, spot on. 3 in a row for the first time since 2017. That is what Olympic are gunning for. And Pete McGuinness's first time as a coach, winning 3 straight with Hamilton Olympic. Last year they weren't able to put together 3 consecutive victories. Such was the up and down nature, the roller coaster ride which was their season, which started slowly and finished with a bang. And this year they've been a lot more consistent early on. 3 wins in their opening 6. Ben Higgins has that ball in the air and Callan Martin swings his boot through it. Just looking through this Adamstown squad and lineup today, they've got 7 players out there in the starting side who are former Olympic men. And Shane Counsdale-Sheriff, their coach, last year said in the media that Olympic didn't really look after them too well. So Adamstown will give them that opportunity and look after them and make sure they get some football time. And you can't say that he hasn't done that, Chris Turner.
No, absolutely not. And it's good to see they've got the opportunity. The reality is they were playing in the division in the grade below. And they're really taking a little bit of time to find their feet, Bart, but they've certainly got some talent in amongst them, and we'll have a better, closer look at the formations shortly, but certainly looking like Reece Cooper is coming back from a number 10 position into the middle of the park.
So Scott Pettit, he's been in fine form lately. Went to ground very softly there. He's scored 5 goals this season, a hat-trick against Lakes back in round 6. And here he is with a chance here, but he's just stepped from an offside position inside Talon Martin there. And the flag up from the assistant on this near side.
Looking at this Olympic side, 4 at the back, 4 through the middle of the park. And Scotty Pettit, playing on the right side of that midfield.
This is Connor Hayden bursting down on goal, and Jez Murray came a long way from his goal. And in the end, he's going to get away with just a corner. We may get a look at the future of goalkeepers in the NPL Northern New South Wales, with Daniel Eisenhower between the sticks for Adamstown, with Ben Kelly dropped back to the bench, and Jez Murray between the posts for Hamilton Olympic, with Tyler Warren suspended. Matt Sikulski, another young gun in the competition, standing tall this year. He'll look to bend this one with his left, finds Finn Beasley. Tries to beat Cody Lucas. Sikulski dipping one in, and Kawachi with a defensive header away. It's Judd Duncan. Links up with Ben Higgins. Scored a few weeks ago. Scored actually in his last appearance for Broadmeadow Magic. I should say against Broadmeadow Magic in that 3-2 defeat. But he's unable to... Well, he was protesting the decision. In the end, just a goal kick for Jez Murray. Reese Pettit. On to Jake McGuinness, and now Cody Lucas.
So back to the lineups. It's looking across the park. The Olympic are 4-4-2. No surprises there.
Well, there's another chance here, CT. It's just as you're about to go into the lineups, and Dan Eisenhower. That's a terrific save. And confidence boosting for the young man, the 21-year-old who used to play for Hamilton Olympic. I can tell you why he's not there anymore. He went to the US to play college football, came back, and Olympic had already signed Jez Murray as their backup goalkeeper. So Adamstown offered him a spot as their second choice, and he took it. And now he's getting his opportunity out there for the Buds. Kept the one clean sheet for Olympic last year against Maitland in round 8. This is Jared Sutherland linking up in the midfield. Can he bend this one across goal? He can, but Talon Martin's there to sweep it clear and find Finn Beasley. It's very open at the moment, CT, as you would expect with Hamilton out there playing.
Yeah, well, Hamilton will be looking and hoping that Adamstown didn't do what they did 2 weeks ago against Charlestown, where they really held firm in their formation defensively. Olympic will be looking to open them up, and as the game settles in, they've got 4 at the back, Adamstown. They've got 1 in Alex Graham sitting in front of them as a holding midfielder, if you like, and then 4 flat across the middle, and then Connor Hayden up top on his own. So interesting that it's almost like a 4-1-4-1 formation for the Buds, and Olympic 4-4-2. So we'll see how this one pans out and what the coaches do to counter each other as we progress through the game, but.
Yeah, well, I really thought Adamstown had turned a corner a few weeks ago when they beat Charlestown 3-1. They were building nicely towards that result. Almost beat Broadmeadow Magic the week before, but in recent weeks, they've been poor, losing 4-0 to Edgeworth and then 2-1 to Lake Macquarie, who were leaking goals aplenty before last week against the Rosebuds. So that must be frustrating for Coach Shane Cansdale-Sheriff. And the squad as a whole as McGuinness finds Marcus Duncan. Now Pettit. And McGuinness without his midfield partner, Reese Pappas, in this one. He's out with a hamstring complaint, which is a big loss for Olympic. So dynamic, very fit as well. In the midfield is Alex Graham. He almost takes out Phil Coyner. Have you ever been taken out while you're sitting sideline, CT?
By the ball? Or
Well, it doesn't have to be the ball. It can be whatever.
well, in that case, yeah, for sure.
And CT, I'm just saying, just down below, Tom Davies is walking past, former Olympic player himself, now with Maitland. Wonder if his coach Michael Bulch is here as well. There's plenty here at Adamstown Oval on Anzac Day. It's a wonderful day, and you'd love to be out there playing, wouldn't you, CT, on a day like this?
I was going to mention earlier that the state of this pitch is just unbelievable. We're at the point in the year where there's been a bit of rain here and there. We've had a fantastic month, but Andy Stankovic has put a lot of work into this ground, and is best I've ever seen it right now. In the middle of the park, where sometimes you get a little bit patchy, it's just perfect. The ground's a treat, and I'd love to be out there, but you're exactly right. As all the players are out there, they should be thanking their club for this.
Here's a breakaway with Connor Hayden hitting the post, and Marcus Duncan stood on the ball. And Reese Cooper is going to come away with it for Hamilton Olympic. There is a shot across the bow from Adamstown, and CT Connor Hayden will be very unhappy he didn't finish that one off, as we almost saw Jed Hornery win his side a foul. That's a massive chance.
Huge chance for Connor Hayden there, and it's a big switch up from him because he's been playing wide and the right, using his pace to get into the game. And another big shock or surprise is Chris Berlin's out of the game today and not playing. I'm not sure why that is, whether he's got an injury or not, but I saw him heading over to the warm-up, so I'm guessing it's just a change that's been made. Connor Hayden, he would love to have scored that and went so close, but will be disappointed. His hands went straight to his head after he struck that, hit the woodwork.
Well, I wonder what kind of conversation is going on down on that Adamstown bench. You've got Chris Berlin, Luke Rutledge and Ben Kelly. All were part of the first team last year and haven't had as much. Chris Berlin aside and Ben Kelly, they've been playing first grade, but Luke Rutledge not so much, and now they've both been dropped back to the bench. So you sense some frustrated men there and wanting to get out and prove a point in the second half if they do get on the park. I don't think Ben Kelly will get out there, but Chris Berlin you would expect, and Luke Rutledge if he gets the chance as well. Ollie Davies finds Finn Beasley. Finds Judd Duncan. Nice spin and turn, and now delivers towards Sikulski, but a little too close for Jez Murray. He's had a couple of nervy moments. This is his first match in the top grade since 2016. Reece Pettit. And now Kyle Hodges still waiting for his first league goal with Hamilton Olympics CT.
That's not going to happen. I had the opportunity to talk to Peter McGuinness this morning, and I think I guess the concern for Olympic here is you would expect that they would get on top of this game, but as he called it, a banana peel, Peter McGuinness, he called this game a banana peel, one that could slip away from you real quick. Couldn't agree more, and Adamstown have come out attacking, but
they most definitely have, as we see Manoli Pappas I think it was Connor Hayden and Manoli Pappas, James Cleal pointing to both of them. Very experienced referee out there in the middle. He's been the assistant referee on about 13 A-League matches this year, I'm pretty certain he was telling me, so I think you get a bonus if you referee about that many. 13 I think is the number, if I'm correct. And he'll probably be there. I haven't seen the appointments yet on Saturday for the Jets' last match of the season against Sydney FC. So, top referee out there is McGuinness. Rolls it into the path of Cody Lucas. And now Jared Sutherland steals possession back. Just as you thought he was going to be dispossessed. And just runs with the ball too much. And I have heard that as a criticism of Jared Sutherland. Maybe just need to find a teammate there. He's such a silky player, isn't he? This ball up in the air, and Daniel Eisenhower covers himself in glory again. Good punch and collect.
He really is, and that's if he's been criticised, I haven't heard it, but if that's the criticism, what he does do is when he runs at players, he runs and he's so elusive that he's very unpredictable, and that's a strength that I see in his game, and it's good for his teammates because he knows when to offload it, often in good spots, good areas.
Sikulski down towards the corner, bending it across, just in behind Connor Hayden. Appeals for handball against Cody Lucas. That's the thing, CT. Such a talented player, Jared Sutherland, at 19 years of age. He's been playing a lot of youth football, and you can see how that happens because if he's one of the most talented players in the side, you can see why he wants to hold on to possession.
Well, here he's onto the ball again, and his intentions will be he'll have a look. He'll know where his players are, and as he gets in these good areas here, he's looking for an offload. On this occasion, he tries to get a nutmeg in or get something dangerous to get him for a cutback, because where he was heading with that one didn't come off.
Ollie Davies doing the defensive duties on that occasion. Olympic coming into this one, sitting fourth on the table. They were sitting in third before Broadmeadow Magic thumped Valentine 9-1, and that put them back to the edge of the top four on goal difference. Hamilton starting the season, as we mentioned, a whole lot better than what they did last year. It was their worst start to the season, pretty much close to the worst start to a season in their history. I think in the end is Reece Cooper. To find Pettit, who just angles the pass onto Jed Horner, and maybe just not the turn of speed there to beat Talon Martin to the ball. And Adamstown, 10th place on the ladder. And if you look at the attacking stats, CT, Adamstown have scored 10, Olympic 11. Adamstown have played the one more match, but it's fairly even. It's defensively where the difference lies, and I'll come to that in just a second as Scott powers this one across goal, and Reece Cooper can't keep his header down. If you look at the defensive stats, Adamstown have conceded 20 goals. Hamilton Olympic have conceded 6, and that is a huge turnaround from last year. That was their concern last year. They conceded 31 goals in their 20 matches, and you just can't be doing that if you want to be challenging for the finals.
Well, that's spot on, Bart, and mentioned a couple of weeks ago, former coach Trevor Smythe always said, we'll work on our defence before we work on our attack. He was always saying a good footballing side, it's like a house with good foundations. If you get that right, then everything else will be in order. And Olympic have worked really hard on that, and they've got Pettit in there with Hodges in the middle, and those two pivotal. But they have been penetrated early in this game through Connor Hayden, so they need to be very, very careful of that. And Adamstown, keep doing what you're doing for this part, because they're creating some opportunities as well.
Yep, and you'd say to this point, inside the opening quarter hour, it's been Adamstown who have created the best chance. Connor Hayden breaking free, and let's be honest, he'll say he should have finished that. Should be 1-0 to Adamstown. Hit the post, one-on-one with Jez Murray. It was on the angle, but he'll be so disappointed. He's got to put that behind him, though, as Marcus Duncan sprays that pass in front of Scott Pettit.
Connor Hayden would definitely want that opportunity again, and he'll be looking for the next one. He'll shrug that off, and he'll be about the next one. But because that's what his mentality is, he's a goal scorer. He's very, very good at it. He's pushing the line beyond where Olympic are wanting to go. So he's currently standing offside, comes back into an onside position, wants to be on the ball. So we'll keep an eye on him through as the game goes.
As Pettit finds Duncan. Now Kyle Hodges, the 31-year-old centre-back. Now Reece Cooper. This one up and over the top for Kawachi, who is offside. The Japanese import applauding the ball from Reece Cooper. He thumped that one, great vision. But Kawachi just a step offside as Eisenhower pilots that one into the afternoon sky at Adamstown Oval. And now McGuinness and Kawachi offside again. And now Ben Higgins plays the ball, which is going to make Matt Sikulski do way too much. Jez Murray. And now Hodges. CT, speaking of referees, we were talking about James Clewell before. Stephen Laurie's actually over in Italy at the moment, I think. Celebrating a little bit of a break. Enjoying a bit of an off-season. Yeah. Sutherland. And now Cody Lucas. Jez Murray, formerly of the Jets youth, took some years off and now back with Hamilton Olympic, where he's been playing in the 20s under Tyler Warren, who we may even get to speak to a little later, CT. He got sent off. It was one of the most bizarre send-offs you'll see. He came out of the box and just stuck his hands up, and I don't know if he realised he was outside of the box. That's what it seemed to me, CT.
Well, we'll confirm that with him if we get the opportunity to speak to him. Where he was sitting, he's vacated, so I did put him on notice.
Maybe there's a reason why he's vacated the seat. Ollie Davies finds Duncan, and now Graham distributes back to Davies, and here is the skipper, Ben Higgins.
Speaking of vacating, we seem to be on our own again, Bart. Just you and I without Smudge.
Yeah, can we say where he is? Are we allowed to say that? Or we don't want anyone going up, and he just wants to stay away from the limelight, so I'm going to let you give it away if anyone is going to do it.
Well, we'll leave him alone on wherever he is, but we just know he's not here with us, Bart. Again, more annual leave.
Oh, exactly. It's piling up for him. Piling up. But he'll be back, hopefully before June, maybe, as Drew Grierson finds Sikulski against the sideline.
We'll come back to Smudge a little bit later, Bart.
We will. We will. It's Judd Duncan. And now Finn Beasley. Looks up and uses the diminutive Duncan. Calls this one across. Sikulski's there at the back post. And in the end, his leg wasn't long enough to reel that one in. Needed a longer toe. But he's putting himself in those kind of positions. The former Maitland man. He's been so impressive. I'd say close to one of the most impressive young players in this competition. He's currently 19 years of age, and I know there's plenty of great young players in this competition, but Rookie of the Year, I know he came onto the scene last year, so I think based on that he couldn't be eligible. Is that right? It's first season in the competition. Is that Rookie of the Year, CT? Can you back me up on that?
I'm going to back you up. I'm not sure, but I'm backing you up.
So I think Sikulski would be ineligible then, as Kawachi beats a couple, and gee, hit that with some power, but not the accuracy he would have liked.
Yeah, but we'll keep our eye on number 6, Alex Graham. So he's the man that's screening the back four for Adamstown, sitting in front of him. Was noticing about his game just previously. He's making sure the two wide players in Pettit and Sutherland are picked up. The two players up front in Hornery and Shinichi are both picked up, and he's sitting free just to get anything that's coming the way. He's screening them, and you can see now he's pretty much left unattended without anyone to mark.
Here's Sikulski, the man we were just speaking about, and his touch to keep it inside the line, a little too heavy.
So where the compromise is at is that they're playing with one up front and Connor Hayden, so he's working solo and doing well so far. Adamstown additional man, so he's able to play between the lines. And it seems to be working because he's getting Adamstown out. We'll continue to watch him as the match progresses.
Well, here's the press from the Rosebuds, playing with Connor Hayden sitting up top. Do you prefer Connor Hayden up top, or do you prefer him on the flanks, CT?
Look, I prefer him on the sides of the park because his ability to run at players at speed, and then he cuts inside or outside. So,
well, here's a chance which may have even been put on a platter there for Connor Hayden, but Cody Lucas mopped up.
Well, as we're talking about, Connor, this game's just end-to-end at the moment. Both teams having a real good go here.
Pettit's chest is very powerful. It was like a trampoline there. A couple of bounces to Judd Duncan. He's looking for an option, couldn't find it. And rolls it to Grierson. He's made an absolute meal of that. He was good at a couple of weeks ago against Charlestown and Broadmeadow Magic the week before. A young man, he's just 20 years of age, former Olympic player, as are 7 of the members of Rosebud's squad out there today. Ollie Davies, Alex Graham, Grierson and Pappas as well. Here's Connor Hayden in on goal. He had the chance earlier. He couldn't finish it on that occasion, but he can this time. And Adamstown have a lead that they deserve on Anzac Day.
Adamstown lead 1-0.
A great build-up and a better finish. Once Hayden got the ball on the edge of the box, he still had a little bit of work to do.
21 minutes
he sent
in the match.
Jez Murray the wrong way, and in the end a simple side foot into the back of the net. And the Adamstown bench just went up in unison. You know what a huge goal that is for them at home against an in-form Hamilton Olympic side, but
really composed finish there from Connor Hayden. And now Jared Sutherland has played in down the line. Alex Graham with the intervention, and now Ollie Davies. Graham chipping forward. What's the issue for Olympic at the moment? They are looking a little nervy at the back at times, as Jez Murray's played that straight on cue to Matt Sikulski, who looks up and takes on the strike and ends it wide of goal in the end. And Pete McGuinness is up off his chair and he's yelling out at Jared Sutherland. Giving away possession maybe, CT, in that previous attacking raid.
yeah, I think McGuinness is just, it's like waking his side up there a little bit, clip around the ears. Now they've got a game on and he knows it. He's been around this too long, McGuinness, and he knows the dangers. He said before the game this morning, this game's like a banana skin for him. slip away real easy. And so the attitude of the players here for Olympic is going to be really important to get it right. Get lots more possession than what they've had, because at the moment it's just been end-to-end, lots of balls in the air. Now we see them settle a little and start to play.
Pettit pushes that pass in front of Cody Lucas. Now it's Marcus Duncan in front of the Adamstown coach, Shane Cansdale-Sheriff, who will be very pleased with what he's seen thus far. They've been so impressive, the Rosebuds. Kawachi.
Oh, he'd be wrapped right now. He's got a formation that is working to his strengths with the staff that he's got.
Frustration just continuing here for Hamilton Olympic as Reece Pettit, should say Scott Pettit's touch, just let him down. As Duncan can't beat Reece Cooper. Can he profit from the error? And Cooper slices that one wide. Maybe in two minds there. He had Scott Pettit running through at the back post and Hornery alongside him and took on the strike himself.
Look, I think he had his eyes for goals there. What he was trying to do was just get a little bit of bend on that, just on the outside of his foot. It's just gone a little bit too far and he's got no power on it. But could see his intention was to hit it with some bend.
Connor Hayden, this is what he does best. Weaves past a couple and then wins the free kick. No advantage there, CT, for Finn Beasley. Out on the flank.
That one's been pulled up. A strike on goal here is what the Buds are looking for. Get something on target, get it either around or over the top of this wall and make Jez Murray come into action. Good distance to hit it from.
So Ollie Davies, a lone man standing over it. So there's no ducks and drakes from Adamstown here. Davies takes, was through the wall or around it and straight at Jez Murray. Not quite the power he would have wanted to get behind it. Ollie Davies. There's now Kawachi. Burns away from Grierson and then he's passed to Pettit. Too far behind. As Duncan chipping up and over the top for Connor Hayden, but Murray will get out. It's a claim for Olympic. Adamstown haven't beaten Hamilton in the league since 2014. That was here at Adamstown Oval, a 2-1 result. Marcus Duncan gets away from Grierson, squares it across goal, and McGuinness scores his first goal in the NPL Northern New South Wales. And that will please his father. Well slotted, took a little deflection off the post. But they all count the same, 1-1 at Adamstown Oval.
Well structured attack there. This side really made it look easy in the end, did McGuinness, but he had a lot of work to do. There were bodies in the box and he had to almost hit the inside of the post for it to go in with the amount of legs that were in his way, and he did exactly just that. And as Adamstown did not too long ago, the bench all went up as one for Hamilton.
Can you believe that, CT? That's his first goal in the NPL. Jake McGuinness. He scored a couple in the FFA Cup last year. Of course, previously with the Jets. And now Olympic.
Well, it is a bit hard to believe because he does put himself in the games, and he's always in the games. But you can see, you know, the way that his game is, he's always moving the ball on, and he's a real transition type player, if you can call it that, because as he gives the ball away as I'm talking him up, but what he does do is he completes his passes a lot, and that's a rare mistake from him. And you like to have players like that in your side so that you can keep the ball moving, keep things linked, keep them flowing.
Beasley almost treads on the ball, and he did in the end, but Sutherland couldn't win possession from him. And he takes on and bends it to Sikulski. Once again, just beyond the outstretched boot of the young winger. At just 20 years of age, Jake McGuinness. Plenty of young men out there on both sides. this man included. Marcus Duncan, he's been to a few clubs, even though he's just 22 years of age. Back for his third stint with Hamilton Olympic. There's Pettit. That'll just calm the nerves for Olympic. And frustrate Adamstown as well. Get themselves in front. McGuinness. Now Grierson. To Sikulski. Now Judd Duncan looking for Connor Hayden. Reese Cooper swoops in and wins possession back for Hamilton. And Adamstown's record when they have conceded first isn't great, so good news for their fans. But they're in a real arm wrestle here. There's Cody Lucas on Sutherland. Pulls it up high towards the back post. Appeals for handball. James Cleal says nothing doing. As McGuinness on the volley across to Sutherland. Looks to take on Beasley. Still going, Jared Sutherland. And James Cleal does award the free kick on this occasion. Just on the edge of the 18-yard box. Dangerous position here for the Adamstown defence. And it's Scott Pettit.
This is a great position for Olympic, and Scott Pettit, he'll know exactly what he wants to do with this, and it'll probably go in with a bit of swing from his right to left, so that anything glancing on will be naturally heading towards goal. And can't imagine he's going to float this one in. It'll be hit with some authority at about head height would be my guess, Bart. Great opportunity here coming up for Olympic.
Got some tall men, including Duncan and Pettit, and Scott Pettit's ball is blocked by the wall. Really never got off the tarmac in the end.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that.
Well, here he is on the recycled ball. Jed Hornery was diving in there, as was Reese Pettit.
And the second ball in was a better one than the first one.
Gee, gets some length on those goal kicks, does Dan Eisenhower. Absolutely thumped that one down the ground, and he hasn't got a breeze blowing behind him. As Beasley, Sikulski deflects the ball to Hayden. And Marcus Duncan, the saviour on that occasion for Hamilton Olympic. There's Kawachi. Japanese import, he's been good so far this season. 3 goals in their opening 6 matches, and he missed one of those, so 3 and 5. And now he looks for Hornery. Not quite the power to get that one across the tarmac. Round 8 of the NPL Northern New South Wales on Bar TV Sports. Ben Homer and Chris Turner with you in commentary for this Anzac Day clash. Back again after an absence last year. Adamstown played their match against Broadmeadow Magic a couple of days later as Matt Sikulski with a handball. 2 years ago, it was Pete McGuinness, coach for Adamstown, against Broadmeadow Magic, and it was a 0-0 draw. It was a dour match. Of course, there was some criticism from Broadmeadow coach Ruben Zadkovic about playing on Anzac Day. A frustrating afternoon for them. And Scott Pettit looks high and long. Eisenhower in 2 minds. Sutherland keeps it in. And Eisenhower does well to bring it under his control and quickly looks for the release. And that's Finn Beasley.
Love that cross in there, or that delivery from Pettit. It was a dangerous ball. There was just no one on the end of it. His job's to get it there, and he put it in the perfect place, just out of reach of Eisenhower.
Just over the half-hour mark in this one. Reese Pettit finds Kawachi. New recruit for Hamilton this year, Reese Pettit, after spending the last couple of years at Valentine Phoenix. The last few years, in fact, since they were promoted. He was their youngest ever captain. That man on the ball. Just 21 years of age at the moment is Duncan. Now to Scott Pettit, who has dropped deep to collect the ball. Looks to link up with Reece Cooper. Now Cody Lucas. Here's McGuinness. Hamilton goal scorer Jake McGuinness is first in the NPL Northern New South Wales. Now Cody Lucas measures the pass to Sutherland. And McGuinness back to the diminutive Jared Sutherland. Kawachi. Duncan. So he's been allowed to roam all the way over this side of the ground, Jared Sutherland. Scott Pettit over the far side now. And now Connor Hayden picks the pocket and takes them on. And Kyle Hodges, you sense, will go into the book here. A cynical foul from the Hamilton centre half. No other option there for James Cleal. Are you disagreeing, CT?
Well, look, it's a free kick. The ball did get away from Hayden a little. His touch wasn't great. It just got away from him.
Yeah, I can accept that. I can accept that. If you're saying Connor Hayden, if he takes that first touch a little more softly, keeps it closer, well, then you're saying there's more chance. You think of a yellow.
Well, I think that it would have given Hodges the opportunity to sit back. When it got away from him, he went forward and then he's actually committed the foul, which I guess last man, or one of them, he's had to do.
Well, if he was last man, there were even more problems for him.
That's exactly right. But anyway, he'll have to watch himself for the rest of the game, so no silly tackles or movements from him.
But I don't mind that, as this ball back puts Jez Murray under some pressure. It's been a really engaging contest on Anzac Day thus far. Alex Graham curling this one inside the touchline for Matt Sikulski. And his pass, well, he had no weight on the pass and Kawachi pounced. There's Duncan. Kawachi with Grierson ahead of him. Now Pettit had Cooper, opts for Jed Hornery instead. Again, a little too heavy. And apart from that goal they scored, Olympic, they really haven't created... I'm trying to think of another chance apart from that Jake McGuinness goal. It's been few and far between for them. Adamstown have looked more likely.
Adamstown have come out a lot more attacking than, to be honest, than I'd expected. I thought they may have sat a little bit more and did what they did against Charlestown and played on the counter, counter-attack, if you like. But they've taken this one a different way, and I'm feeling Alex Graham had a difference in that. He's sitting free in front of the back four and screening well, but he's getting them out well also.
So Matt Sikulski brought that down well, and then you could just see him, just tried to measure that in front of Connor Hayden. Couldn't quite do so if he had of. Could have been a double for the front man. Scored his third of the season earlier in the match to open the scoring. To go level with Matt Sikulski as Adamstown's leading goal scorer this year.
That ball in from Sikulski was hit with authority. That cross was meant for Hayden, as you say, but it's showing a footballer in form, putting crosses like that, and Adamstown will be hoping for a lot more of the same.
Yeah, Connor Hayden broke a 4-match dry spell after starting the season quite well with 2 in his first 3. It's Cody Lucas, sends Beasley the wrong way. Sutherland links up with Pettit. Can he get it onto that right boot? He can, and Ben Higgins with a diving header. There's now the ball given away by Kyle Hodges, and Judd Duncan allows Finn Beasley to run this one down. He will get there. It's going to sit up perfectly inside the byline. And then Kyle Hodges couldn't deal with it, and in the end, it'll go out for a corner kick. Again, Olympic looking a little frail at the back. We were praising their defence earlier in the match. Third best defence in the competition thus far. Pete McGuinness will be really proud of the improvement from last year. But, yeah, not quite as authoritative at the moment. This one dinked up and over the top by Duncan. Header at the back post and nodded only as far as the 6-yard box. Sikulski. Hayden fluffs his lines. It's Pappas. And now Ben Higgins. Can he take on the strike? Reese Pettit sliding in and putting it out for a corner. Well, Connor Hayden will be filthy with himself as that ball fell to him in the middle of the box.
Great opportunity there for Adamstown, and they just couldn't get... They did everything but put it in the back of the net. Olympic, first thing on their minds is get this one cleared out.
Sikulski, that's a strong challenge and a strong win of the possession. And then he wins the free kick. He's been so impressive again this afternoon, CT. That was really a thumping challenge. You could hear the sound from here. And then he's been fouled. So another chance for Adamstown from the set piece. And on this occasion, it's not going to be Ollie Davies. It will be Matt Sikulski. Maybe a little surprising. He's going to bend this away from goal. Normally on this side, you see the right-footed take it on. Well,
maybe he's going to go right-footed.
He's going to go right-footed. Well, there you go. So Sikulski going to go for goal and sprays it high and wide. It was almost like a cricketer going out into the wicket. Don't you hate this? And they line up as though they're batting as a left-hander when they're actually a right-hander, just so you change your field. And then they go, oh, no, I'm actually a right-hander.
Yeah, well, that one went over the boundary for a 4.
Maybe even a 6.
6, sorry.
Had plenty of height about it. There's Pettit. Well, that's a long ball that's going nowhere, apart from the gloves of Dan Eisenhower. Look at the distance again on that CT. Is that just me? Or is he getting a lot of distance?
He sure is, and his team just coming to grips with that. They're used to Ben Kelly, who's also got a boot on him as well. But Eisenhower is getting some additional distance, and so Hayden in particular needs to be aware of that.
Well, Ben Higgins has knocked Jed Hornery to ground. It seemed unintentional. I'd have to have a look at it again, but Kawachi, the ball with him. And now McGuinness finds Pettit. Great first touch, and then he tried to crawl towards goal. And that wasn't going to work for him. So Ollie Davies thumps it long. Hodges and Lucas under some pressure from Finn Beasley, I should say. Similar mop to Sikulski as Pettit. Now Cooper scored his first goal of the season last week in the win over the Jets youth. A very tidy one into the top corner it was. Now Cody Lucas. Ben Higgins awake to the danger. There's McGuinness. So we tick towards half-time in this Anzac Day clash. Kawachi up and off Talon Martin. And the clearance from Alex Graham. Probably not his best effort, but it's gone where he probably needed it to go in the end. And now Connor Hayden taking on Reese Pettit. He's so strong, but Reese Pettit did wonderfully well defensively. Now ball up and over the top, falls for Pettit, who is offside. He has poked his shot wide in the end, so wouldn't have mattered. The flag has been up a few times against Hamilton Olympic in this first half. I think Jed Hornery then was onside, Pettit's offside. So if Pettit stays out of it, Potentially a golden chance for Jed Hornery. Maybe a chance gone begging there for Hamilton Olympic. As Eisenhower again gets the length, and now Manoli Pappas is in on goal, rounds Jez Murray and finishes. Stunning stuff from Manoli Pappas, and it's an afternoon of firsts. He gets his first goal in the NPL Northern New South Wales, and it puts Adamstown ahead before half-time. What a match we're witnessing this afternoon, CT. Entertainment plus.
Sure is, Bart, and what a great finish that was, and just exactly what Adamstown Rosebud wanted before half-time. And to be fair, that's not a result that should disappoint them because they've earned it.
Well, Adamstown deserved to be ahead at the break as James Cleal is now chatting to Manoli Pappas. I didn't see anything that went on after he did score the goal. Did he carry on a little? Gave it to a few Olympic players on the way back. Potentially so. We might have to have a look at that at half-time. Remembering he used to play for Olympic in the younger grades. As Cooper beats a couple, chips it in. Talon Martin got a boot to it. Off the number of Finn Beasley. It was an interesting clearance, but it did the job. And Connor Hayden, look at the press on Jez Murray. Pettit, now to Kawachi. They've got to come after the Rosebuds again. Duncan dinks it. Hornery just behind him. And then Dan Eisenhower, as cool as you like, controls.
Great rundown work there from Hayden. He's put a lot of pressure on Olympic, forced them to go, but they played and they got out well. Good patch of play. The result still sits with Adamstown Rosebud 2, Hamilton Olympic 1.
I'm sorry to do this to Kyle Hodges, but did that just expose his speed off the mark, Manoli Pappas, the way he beat him? Because Kyle Hodges just couldn't go with the young man.
I think more of a case that he was probably half wrong-footed, and as he turned, he was like past him like lightning. I think it might have been more body positioning for him. But either way, the speed and the way the goal was taken was top shelf.
Scott Pettit, a little chip and charge, and Ben Higgins. Well, he's put some venom through that. So hasn't this match been set up for a really intriguing second half on Anzac Day? Remembering that Adamstown haven't beaten Olympic since 2014. Duncan. And Cooper, and that will do us for the opening 45 minutes on Anzac Day at Adamstown Oval. The first match on Anzac Day here since 2017. And to be honest, you couldn't have asked for a more different encounter. That one was tight and turgid. This one is open and entertaining. And it was Adamstown who opened the scoring through Connor Hayden. Olympic replied through Jake McGuinness, his first goal in the NPL Northern New South Wales. And then Manoli Pappas scored his first in the competition to make it 2-1 to Adamstown at half-time. And that's where we sit right now. Chris Turner cannot wait for the second 45 minutes.
Yeah, the second 45 is going to be really interesting because right now Peter McGuinness has got some thinking to do. In fact, he would have already done that, but he's got some delivery to his players on how they're going to change this. Adamstown have been fantastic so far in this first half. They've come out, as I've mentioned earlier, unlike I thought they would. I thought they'd be sitting deeper and I thought they would have played more a defensive game, but they've done anything but. They've come out and attacked. And it's been working. They've exposed Olympic in their defence at times and created some opportunities and rightfully go up 2-1 at half-time. So no disputes there. But certainly Olympic to get back in this game, more possession, keep more possession and play more so in the top third of their attacking end and get some more opportunities they've got because at the moment it hasn't been a great deal, but...
Well, we will take a quick break and we'll be back in the second half for what should be a fascinating final 45. Catch you then. Welcome back to Adamstown Oval, round 8 of the NPL Northern New South Wales, starting early this week on Anzac Day. And it's Adamstown Rosebud. Is there an upset brewing, leading by 2-1 at half-time? They've got possession to kick us off in their second half, running from left to right of screen. And James Cleal gets us back underway. Chris Turner, can Adamstown keep it going in this second half? We've seen them put good 45 minutes together. Can they put a good 90 together this afternoon?
Well, that's what they're going to have to do if they want to beat Olympic this afternoon. They're going to need to reproduce that and then counter whatever Coach Peter McGuinness is changing up, which he probably would at a guess. We'll see that one pans out, but at the moment, in that first half, Adamstown Rosebuds have been looking the goods, but
well, they have been, and they've been outstanding thus far. Jared Sutherland, it hasn't quite been his afternoon. His pocket is picked by Judd Duncan, Beasley, and now Graham onto Talon Martin, who finds Drew Grierson. This is the question. This very young Adamstown side, with 6 players currently out there who used to play at Hamilton Olympic. There's plenty of desire in terms of wanting to get the 3 points and prove a point. Question is, it's the mentality of knowing what to do when you are ahead, and this is where they're really going to rely on players like Ben Higgins, who's the experienced head out there, without Chris Berlin and Ben Kelly, who are on the bench. Talon Martin as well out there. This ball threaded to Scott Pettit. Runs away from Pappas, and now Reese Cooper. He can make things happen in very small areas. And that's from his futsal background, isn't it, CT? We're talking about him in that first half when he had that shot just faded wide as Pettit hits it and not where he wanted it to go in the end. But he can, I feel futsal players can just manipulate a ball better than an outfield player can, just because they have that ability on the ball all the time in small spaces on the futsal pitch.
well, it does definitely bring some additional skills into the game, which are your close ball control. And that's helpful on bigger pitches in tight situations, that's for sure. A lot of players with good close ball control love to play futsal for that reason, because that's what the game lends itself to.
I love your the way you pronounce it as Pettit. And now Kawachi, 3 goals already this year. And Martin over the sideline. Futsal. I love it.
Yeah, it's because, you know, the origins of that is because a lot of the time you're dragging the ball around onto the sole of your foot. Futsal. It's been a couple of years since we've spoken about that.
And that is the one disadvantage when you take futsal onto the pitch, isn't it?
And I'm just joking there.
Well, no, but I'm talking about dragging it with the bottom of your foot. That is something that when you go out onto the park, sometimes coaches need to rectify. Sutherland. Cross goal, and Pettit was diving in there. Well, was that Drew Grierson? Somehow craned his boot around the ball to clear it away. And now Ollie Davies, well, he almost made a meal of that.
That was brilliant work there from Sutherland. He really had close attention from at least 3 defenders.
What about the defensive work from Grierson?
And then
if it wasn't for him, Pettit would have scored, as this free kick just relieves the pressure for Adamstown.
Well, it was a wrapping foot, wasn't it? Right around Pettit that made that clearance, and you're right, the crossing was perfect. Pettit was there to finish it off. Grierson, exceptional job getting his boot in the way.
It'd be the kind of wrapping you'd see on Christmas presents.
Leave the jokes to me, Bart.
Thought I'd just get one in there as Beasley. I want to bounce into the arms of Talon Martin.
Now, we did try and get Tyler Warren up here, but that was a fail. So we will...
Did he not want to be embarrassed? Is that what you're saying?
Well, there's a rumour that he's just gotten engaged, so we'll have to confirm that with him.
Well,
so if he's not here, he can't defend. Is that fair enough?
I did see him walking around with a lady friend, so I thought, CT, that he may have other commitments.
Well, that could be the case, but if he wants to come up and let us know what's happening, we'd highly encourage that, but that would probably only lead to why he was sent off last game, and I think the word clumsy was used, but we'll leave that one for him.
Yes, and that's Hamilton's goalkeeper, Tyler Warren, who's out suspended for this weekend's clash, or this week's clash, as Matt Sikulski has Marcus Duncan backtracking and hit it quite solidly. Jez Murray with a save. Sutherland. Ollie Davies. Back he goes to find Ben Higgins. And technically it would have been his first clean sheet of the season against the Jets youth. He was sent off. Jez Murray, they both played a part in it. Kawachi. Now Cooper dinking forward, and Dan Eisenhower brought that down well. Pettit to his namesake Pettit. Scott and Reese, no relation there. Kawachi. Now Duncan. And Talon Martin nodding that one over the byline. Yeah, so that is correct, CT. If you get sent off and you haven't conceded a goal, there goes your clean sheet. So unfortunately for Tyler Warren, gone. It's Pettit. And now it sits up for Sutherland at the back post. Kyle Hodges! Oh, that was the moment. 140 matches without a goal for Hamilton Olympic and CT. I thought I was going to need the defib there. You looked like you were struggling to believe what had quite happened there.
Well, Hodjo, if you're going to have an opportunity, 100. How many games have we done without a goal?
140.
140 games without a goal. If you're going to score one, that's it, Hodjo. And at a time where his side desperately need one.
Well, Barry Park thought he was good going about 121, but Kyle Hodges has taken the cake as Drew Grierson, well, he probably wasn't intending it to go out for a corner, but in the end it does. And Kyle Hodges on this occasion, he's been told to stay back just on the edge of the centre circle. There you go. He's been sacked. Pettit across goal, and Reese Pettit was there. And now Marcus Duncan on the volley, didn't get the purchase. Hodges tracks back. Will deliver to Jez Murray. He's been put under a little bit of pressure. And he drills the pass wide to Jake McGuinness. He takes on Hayden. And in a real scrap there is Hayden and McGuinness. McGuinness will win the foul in the end. Taken quickly. Cooper, who's been in good form against the Rosebuds in the recent past. 2 goals in his last 3. Not quite as prolific as Jed Hornery. 3 goals in his 2 previous matches with the Rosebuds. Hasn't quite had an opening thus far. And did score a big goal here at Adamstown Oval against Broadmeadow Magic in the FFA Cup Round 7. So he scored 2 in his last 2 here at Adamstown Oval. And CT, while we've got a little break here, it's important to note Adamstown's 130th anniversary celebrations on June 22 at the Starlight Room at West's Leagues Club in New Lambton. So make sure you get along to that. Grab a ticket. It's going to be a big night. Sure you'll be there. I know I'll be there.
Yeah, and I believe you're hosting the event, Bart.
That is correct. Beasley. Well, I hope I'm there. I'm hosting. It's Graham.
Yeah, it should be a great night. And 130 years, a club so full of history. So many wonderful games, so many great players.
Beasley bending towards Beasley, I should say. It was Sikulski. And this one just in front of Sutherland. And now Manoli Pappas, who opened his account in the NPL Northern New South Wales in the first half, and that touch a little heavy. Well, actually, it's taken Cody Lucas's boot on the way through. So a corner for Adamstown. Matt Sikulski trotting across to take. This is a big result for Adamstown if they can win this one. Take them to 6 points. Beasley beats a couple. Came off the back of Sutherland and almost piloted away there by Manoli Pappas, I believe it was.
Yeah, what a great strike there. And Adamstown applying all of the pressure at the moment. Certainly the Buds can see this one is within their reach. Got a lot of work to do, but really enjoyed the way that they've worked themselves. Alex Graham, just that positional play for him has been something that's worked well for the Buds. Sitting in front of the back four, played a big role defensively for them, screening and being great in transition.
He's come back into the starting lineup. Wasn't there in that defeat to Lake Macquarie. And he's making his presence felt. Pappas. And now Beasley with Cody Lucas backtracking and basically ran himself straight into a brick wall. Cul-de-sac, whatever you want to call it. Ollie Davies. And now Judd Duncan. There's the free kick. Goes the way of Adamstown. So the next goal, crucial as we know. Adamstown can get ahead 3-1. It's going to make things very difficult for Hamilton. Not saying that they can't pull that back. They've got so much in the final third. A 2-goal margin wouldn't be enough for Adamstown, but just makes the job a whole lot more difficult. If they can get the next one, though, they'll feel like they can go on with it. Davies hanging it up there, and Sikulski again. This time he's fouled. Committed the foul, and Marcus Duncan in a bit of pain. And we know what, well, Adamstown will know what Olympic can do. You'll remember that match last year in round 13 CT. We were there at Darling Street. Adamstown led 1-0 in the 60th minute. Luke Valone scored. And then in the final half an hour, Olympic put 4 on them after Connor Hayden went down with that injury which ended his season.
Well, that's exactly the point that the Buds will want to keep a hold of.
And Connor Hayden is just offside, and he's hit the post anyway. Well, that's the second time he's hit the post, even though the pressure valve was released there.
The Olympic side have got the ability to score goals, and they won't stop. They'll keep going until the whistle's been blown for full time, so they'll just keep going and going. And Adamstown need to be acutely aware of that.
Here's Cooper. We know his record against Adamstown.
And there is an example of it right there, but they'll just keep coming, and players like Cooper, McGuinness, Pettit, etc. They've Hornery, Sutherland. They've got firepower to burn, so they're just not going to stop. They will keep coming at you.
Now, CT, I want a black and white answer here, but I don't think I'm going to get one. Adamstown have been too good today, or better than Olympic, or do you feel that Olympic have been poor? What are you saying? Adamstown, great performance, Olympic, poor performance? Or are you saying a mixture of both?
I'll give you a black
As
and white
we see
answer.
Ollie Davies going to the book.
Adamstown have been exceptionally good, and they've, at this point in the game, they deserve to be on top because they've played mostly better football and, as a result, created more opportunities, which has resulted in 2 goals. But it is a long way to go. We've got certainly plenty of time for Olympic not to be in a panicked position here. Just need to keep what they do well as possession, get the ball into good areas at top third, and then create some opportunities. Because as I mentioned just a moment ago, they've got plenty of firepower up in that end of the park.
There's Pettit. Now Marcus Duncan. Well, that's been blocked by Grierson, and he's fallen awkwardly on his ankle. And he's limping heavily. Falls here for Hornery. Came off the head of Graham. And then Jed Hornery. You can see the frustration. He sliced his shot. Ollie Davies. Straight into the path of Lucas. And now Sutherland. He's very dangerous against a fatiguing back line. Tried to exploit it there, but ran straight into a cul-de-sac. Judd Duncan.
Cody Lucas made a big overlapping run. It's in forward with him now. He's making his way back into the back line.
Reece Pettit calmly underneath that one and nods it back to his keeper. as we see the Adamstown bench go and have a warm-up. Looking forward to seeing some of their young guns on the bench. I can tell you, CT, they've got Jared Muller on the bench. I'll go into his stats in a second. You will be amazed when you hear these, as Beasley taking on Cody Lucas and committing the foul. 76 goals in 73 games the last 2 seasons. That's across 15s, 16s and 18s matches. 76 goals in 73 matches. How's that for a record in front of goal? Kawachi.
Well, he obviously knows where the bag is, that's for sure.
And now Duncan. Unfortunately, he didn't know on that occasion where the bag was and gave Jed Hornery way too much to do. Could he be the man to get Olympic back into this one? Jacob Kresner on the bench as well, former Mariners youth product. And then Ren Fukumoto, another Japanese import, yet to score for Olympic. And they've got Tom Stewart, which at this stage I doubt we'll see him, being a defensive player. Normally plays in the back line. As Hayden quickly angled the pass to Beasley, who returned the favour. And problems here for Reece Pettit. James Clear is walking over and going to his pocket. And here's push and shove. Well, you don't need this. You don't need this. What is he doing, Finn Beasley? Your side's up 2-1, and he's getting involved in some push and shove with Marcus Duncan. You do not want to get sent off. And in the end, he goes into the book. And so will Reece Pettit. But what is he doing there, CT?
Yeah, look, they just got to keep frustration in check here and their emotions in check. What you don't want to do is get sent off because you've been involved in a bit of rubbish out there. You just need to get on with the football. Olympic, they're a bit frustrated at the moment. There's no doubt about that.
Well, Beasley's got to calm down here, or Shane Council-Sheriff has got to take him off the pitch, because you do not want a man down. We saw this happen last year in this clash for Adamstown. Gotcha Abshalava, the Georgian, he struck out at Cody Carroll, I'm pretty certain. Got himself sent off. And Broadmeadow won the match 4-0 in the end, so it was probably gone by that point. But you're up 2-1. They've got a history of send-offs, Adamstown, in recent years, shooting themselves in the foot. They cannot afford to do it here.
And Finn Beasley was asked to come over to the bench to get a drink of water, and Phil Coyner was quickly in his ear giving him some of his experience about what he shouldn't be doing for the next 20 or so minutes.
So Sikulski again across it. Kyle Hodges, a towering header there. And then Judd Duncan was simply, well, I thought overpowered there in the midfield. I think Olympic are a little unlucky.
Yeah, Bart Smudge would be loving this sort of thing if he was here. He's not. But what he is doing, he's celebrating his wife Jess's 40th birthday. 40th birthday for Jessica Smith. So happy birthday, Jess. Bart's nodding his head.
Yeah, I'll send my regards to Jess as well.
Unlike your husband, we wish you well for the day. I'm only joking there, Smudge. You guys are having a great time, and happy birthday, Jess. Hope you're enjoying your break. You see that one go out.
Gee, I didn't realise. I was thinking about the age gap, because Smudge is about 57, isn't he, CT?
At least. And the other thing I mentioned was, I don't know how he marries someone probably 30 years younger than him, but maybe Jess didn't want me to mention she was 30. Did I say 40? Sorry, Jess, meant 30th. Happy 30th.
Cheers, Murray. Looks for Hornery. He hasn't had an afternoon to remember thus far, but there's still time to make that happen. And Jared Sutherland, well, at the moment, it is all falling foul for Olympic at the moment. And they really can't afford to lose this. It's so tight amongst the top four. Hamilton currently in 4th spot. You've got Maitland, who has played 2 less matches and 3 less after this one played by Olympic. And then you've got Magic and Edgeworth, Lambton, who have played a couple of less matches as well. A win takes them equal first. although they have played a couple more than Lambton, but equal on points with Edgeworth, who have played the same amount of matches. So it's all a bit confusing, but they just can't afford to drop this one. And simply Adamstown can't either. If they even want to sniff at finals football, they can't afford to drop this match.
We're looking at a change here for Olympic. Pete McGuinness is giving out plenty of instruction.
Pettit. And he's picked out Sikulski, brought down well on the chest, and then the first touch with the boot. And now Connor Hayden on the angle, across goal. He was going for goal, maybe hoping there was a Rosebud running in there at the back post. Matt Sikulski had done so much in the build-up. But credit to him for the way he brought the ball down, CT. And we talk about young kids watching at home. Well, he is a young kid.
He is a young kid with lots of ability.
Ren Fukumoto going on for Hamilton Olympic.
You see Ren Fukumoto replacing Cody Lucas, who almost sat in Pete McGuinness's chair there. Don't know how that would have gone down.
Yeah, not real well. I wouldn't want to be actually sitting next to him. Unfortunately, it's Greg Smith sitting next to him, so plenty of experience there. But Pete McGuinness won't be happy with what he's seeing right at this moment.
Well, it's been a very un-Hamilton-like performance. It's almost as though Adamstown have done a Hamilton. They've come out, played attacking football here at home, and have the lead to show for it.
This game's got a long way to go, Bart.
Pettit. Kawachi was there at the back post. And Beasley. Well, that's not Hamilton football. Thumping it long.
Well, let's take nothing away from the Adamstown side here, who have played some really good football. And they've controlled the ball well where they had to. They've defended well, and they've created some opportunities. And certainly have mentioned that formation that they have, 4 across the back and then 1 holding midfielder, has worked an absolute treat for them so far.
Duncan in from behind on Cooper.
They needed to reproduce the first half, and so far so good.
Now Judd Duncan into the book, so there's cards mounting for both sides. Marcus Duncan, Kyle Hodges for Olympic, and for Adamstown, Ollie Davies, Judd Duncan and Finn Beasley. So some young men on notice out there. Neither side want to be down to 10 men as Cooper hangs that one up. And now Judd Duncan. Well, they've got a 3-on-2 here, but Reese Cooper has done extremely well just to slow everything up. And then Fukumoto comes back to mop up for Olympic. Cooper and Duncan distributes into the path of Reese Pettit. That shows you his quality to come from a Valentine side who finished rock bottom last year, straight into Olympic and straight into the starting 11 for them. He's entrenched himself in there alongside Kyle Hodges. And Adamstown are close to making their first change as well. That is really poor from Reese Cooper. Uncharacteristic, as we've spoken about all afternoon from Hamilton Olympic. Beasley running at Fukumoto. See the size gap between them. Still going Beasley. Fukumoto with a toe in. Wonderful work from the import. Pappas beats a couple. The goal scorer from the first half. He is going on. And Reese Pettit stood his ground and 1 possession back for Hamilton. It's Hornery. His pass, well, he's picked out Ollie Davies. There were 2 Olympic players there. And he went straight in between them and picked out Ollie Davies. And I think, what other chances? Connor Hayden beyond the final man. Now Scott Pettit having a chat to Pete McGuinness here, CT. Just against the sideline. Plenty of cries from the crowd as well. The home fans not used to seeing Adamstown in this position. They've won just 6 of their last 41 matches at home. And Connor Hayden is going to go bearing down on goal once again. He's got the run of Beasley. He doesn't use it. He just fired it at the near post.
Yeah, marginally onside would be the call. And he did well there, got away. His angle got tighter and tighter. And he did have Beasley on the back stick. Opted to go himself, and another chance goes. You see Olympic turning the ball over again, and that's becoming more and more so the pattern.
Look at this run from Matt Sikulski, unlocking the Olympic defence once again, and Beasley has pastures aplenty out to the far side, takes on Reese Pettit, rolls it, Hayden! He's offside. Phil Coyner was out of his chair, the Adamstown assistant coach. He quickly took his place on the plastic seat on the sideline against his former club where he coached as the assistant for so long alongside Michael Bulch. Now Jared Sutherland, it may just open up here. Wide for Fukumoto, cuts it back for Sutherland. Well, he dived off the ground there, Talon Martin, one possession. And Sikulski away from McGuinness. And now wins the free kick. CT, you can say I have a man crush, but gee, Matt Sikulski, he just continues to impress me this afternoon.
You have a man crush on Sikulski.
As we see a handball potentially down there in the corner against Duncan. And Phil Coyner and Shane Cansdale Sheriff are stalking the touchline. Beasley's on the turf. The tackle as well, under scrutiny. As we said, the Adamstown faithful are loving this at the moment. Their side's ahead against Hamilton Olympic. They haven't beaten them since 2014. And Beasley is in a lot of trouble here.
Well, he needs either attention or to go off, because if he's okay, but there'll be some people that will not be impressed with him if he starts running freely in a few minutes.
It was Duncan sliding in there on Beasley. A tackle which the home crowd didn't appreciate. Duncan, so congested in the midfield at the moment. And Drew Grierson gives them a little bit of breathing room out to the left edge. Duncan.
Beasley still running gingerly. This will tell a story, and there it does.
There he is along the turf. Oh, he is running it out, but he is struggling. Finn Beasley. What do you think, CT? Is he bunging it on, or is he actually struggling?
He might have copped a little bit of a knock, but on the replay that we had the privilege of, that he didn't. It didn't look a whole lot in it to me, and he seems to be striding out just fine right now.
Yeah, you're not a fan, CT. You are not a fan. Fukumoto, McGuinness, and now Cooper. I don't think I've heard anything like this, CT. Sutherland on the turn and spin. And Eisenhower, he would have had his heart in his mouth for a moment then, because he had to quickly scramble across and try to cover the post. So Adamstown with the change.
Now,
Finn Beasley.
He's sitting on a yellow. Smart move here from Cansdale Sheriff. He's sitting on a yellow. Whether he's got a knock or not, we're not quite sure. But what he is doing is he's talking, communicating with the crowd over the bottom corner. And he doesn't need it to be involved in any of that. So good coaching, bringing some fresh legs in at the right time of the game also.
Yeah, very good coaching to bring him off, because he was involved in a bit of a brouhaha moments ago with Marcus Duncan, actually it was, and then that tackle came in. He goes to ground, so it's just been spilling over there. And as Jared Sutherland looks up, sends Alex Graham left and right, even himself, and Graham dives in. Fukumoto and Talon Martin just thumps it long, heaves it down the ground, and now it's a duel between Hodges and Hayden, and he went flying, Hodges. He may have landed Very awkward. I thought he was clutching at his nose there as he landed on the snoz.
I
CT.
think he's hurt his beak there, and he's a man that will not go down in a hurry. I think he's
Oh my
probably
word.
right, but he's certainly given himself a clip on the fall.
He looked like a javelin flying through the air. And, well, I think his nose lodged in the ground and it's bleeding now. You can see the blood from up here. Oh my word.
Yeah, there was a big flying effort. He knew Connor Hayden was steaming down on that ball, and he obviously knew the importance of that. Ready to put his body on the line at any time where required, Hodges. And on this time, landed on his beak.
Now, CT, Finn Beasley's just been told to sit down by Phil Coyner and the assistant referee was standing up giving water to the Rosebud boys. So they're even concerned that he could get sent off from the sideline. We know that can happen.
Yeah, sure can. He just needs to have a mouthful of water and take a couple of deep breaths and stay out of it.
So Kyle Hodges is going to head back out there. What a cracking match this has been.
Oh, look, if you're at home enjoying this as much as what we are,
it's great to be
I
here.
hope so, because this has been far beyond what I'd expected.
Well, this has been the most intriguing, well, Aidan Von Essen, who'll wish he had his time over again. This has been the most intriguing match that we have witnessed this season. And we are inside the final 15 minutes. So let's enjoy it while we've got this final 15. And I can tell you, if Olympic have seen the stats, they will give themselves a real chance. Adamstown in the final 15 have scored none, conceded 4. Olympic scored 2, conceded none. So that tells levels of fitness and also about experience and how you close out a match. And Olympic have done it better this year. They're down by 2-1 at the moment. Duncan.
Oh, that's a solid
Really good ball. Fukumoto. Look at him go, the Japanese imported. He's hit it up high, and Dan Eisenhower, he's been rock solid between the posts. The only goal scored by Jake McGuinness actually hit the post on the way in as well. Can't do much about that. Judd Duncan didn't get the pace or power behind it. Well cut out. Hornery striding through the midfield. Pettit. There's Kawachi. Opts to use Sutherland, who gets in behind Ollie Davies, and then Ben Higgins again. And he's been solid, the centre-back. Shane Council Sheriff not happy with the long ball. He wants them playing along the ground, just like they were in the first half. Just because they're ahead, with less than 15 to go, he doesn't want anything to change. Ornery. But it's hard, isn't it, CT? It's human nature, isn't it? You're up by 2-1, less than 15 to go. You know what Olympic are capable of. It's easy to just smash it long if you've got your backs to the wall. And at the moment, that's what Adamstown have got. So here's a good chance for Olympic.
Well, you're right in what you say. It is easy to just smash it long, but that's not what they want to do. They want to keep doing what's got them to this point so far. Olympic, on the other hand, know that there's still plenty of time for them to go. As we see Pettit over the ball, looking to get over and beyond, shaping up to put some spin on it also, the way his body angle is.
Well, can Lightning strike twice? Scored from this range in a Broadmeadow Magic shirt back in 2017 in the semi-finals. And no, it can't. Not on this occasion. Drew Grierson with the clearance. Maybe I'll put the mocker on him there. As Kawachi dazzling and dancing and winning another free kick. And it's starting to mount here against Adamstown. Have we seen this movie before, CT? Adamstown have certainly seen it before. They were ahead 2-1 against Broadmeadow Magic back in round 4. Lost that 3-2. Same story here, but it's closer to full time.
We saw it just recently with Maitland and Edgeworth. Edgeworth leading 1-0. 2 late goals from Maitland.
So it's Jared Sutherland who's taken set-piece duties. Scott Pettit hasn't had his best afternoon from the dead ball situations. So Sutherland hangs it up, and somehow it has beaten everyone.
Well, Reece Pettit was right on the spot there, and he delivered it perfectly, Sutherland. Pettit can't believe it got through all the bodies, and he didn't get anything on it at all.
Well, here we go. It's Jared Muller who is being summoned by Pete McGuinness. We're about to see him, the young man who has scored 76 goals in his last 73 matches in the previous 2 seasons. That's through 15s, 16s and 18s. How about that for a record? Can he get his first top grade goal?
I'm sure he'd love to do that, and Peter McGuinness giving lots of instruction.
Well, he's the man who scored Olympics first, and he tried to hang it up there for Hornery, who was hanging himself. As he curls it in, and he almost had his goal there, Jed Hornery.
Just got too much on that one. He just would have loved just to get a glancer on it, just so he had enough to drop. Just a slight touch of his head, just guiding it in the right direction, but he got too much of his head on it, put it over the bar. A good 12 or so minutes at least to go in this one.
Jared Muller, number 18, about to enter the field for Hamilton Olympic.
There he goes, Jared Muller, out there for Hamilton Olympic.
What a big moment. The Anzac Day clash coming onto the pitch. He wanted his first touch to be a good one.
Yes, and that for his, as we say, Hayden Von Essen down towards the line, cuts it across, goal! And the strike from Sikulski. I thought he connected there.
Well, your man crush was just really close there, but unfortunately for him.
First grade debut for Jared Muller as well. He's been on the bench a couple of times, and there's a decent first touch. Picks out McGuinness, who returns the favour. He almost was through there. Jared Muller.
Wouldn't he have loved that? Just to stick to his boot, get a clean shot away. It wasn't the case.
Hodges. How's the header down to Cooper? He's busy early on, isn't he, Muller?
It's exactly what McGuinness needs at the moment, is for him to be busy, and plus 9 of his teammates.
Fukumoto, straight onto the head of Alex Graham. And then Drew Grierson picks up possession against the touchline and takes them on, striding out. Fukumoto returns. Sikulski. Here he goes again, CT. He has Aidan Von Essen with no one on him at the back post. And that is a poor ball. A disappointing ball from Sikulski.
In your eyes, it can do no wrong. He's having a great afternoon, that's for sure, and he'll be disappointed with that cross into the box. He was not threatening on that occasion, but he's caused the.
He's going to win the header. He's going to win the ball in the air there, CT.
He's all over it. I was just going to say he's caused Olympic trouble all afternoon.
It's Connor Hayden who scored first for Adamstown in the opening half. Jake McGuinness responded for Hamilton Olympic. This man in possession right now. And then Manoli Pappas, his first goal in the NPL, making it 2-1. Hayden Von Essen closing down Marcus Duncan. Anzac Day football, round 8 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. Great to have your company wherever you are watching. As Hodges tracking back. Now Jez Murray. And, well, looked like a decent turn from McGuinness, but Von Essen got a boot in. And now Manoli Pappas. Look at the speed late on in the match. Great turn from Hayden. What a turn. And Hayden Von Essen couldn't catch up with possession. That was special stuff. And you've seen him in the flesh, CT. You've coached him, Connor Hayden. You know what he's capable of. That was outstanding.
Well, nicknamed him Weapon about 5 or 6 years ago, and that certainly has come true. He's a lot younger, of course, at that point, just getting into his first grade ranks. But right now, that turn is an example of what he's capable of and created a great opportunity. He's had some good opportunities this afternoon, Bart, but that occasion was another good one. And Reece Cooper, again, that's two, to be honest, shockers from him in the last 20 minutes. Out of character for him and out of character for his side, adding to the frustration of Peter McGuinness. He's up out of his seat.
It just has been an afternoon where nothing has gone right for Hamilton Olympic, and Adamstown, as we've said, take nothing away from them. They've been absolutely outstanding. Duncan. Pappas. And Sikulski and uses him. Takes on Fukamoto. Sikulski.
Now the Buds would love an upset here this afternoon, and they're doing enough to keep on frustrating Olympic. And the most pleasing thing for them is that they haven't sat in defended. They've actually forcing all sorts of errors. We saw Cooper a moment ago, straight out, unforced over the sideline, and that time Murray. And the Olympic crowd here, and there's a great crowd in, they be getting more frustrated as the minutes go on. But as we know, seen over the years, Olympic will not stop. This one's still got a good 5-7 minutes in it.
Yeah, less than 5 of regulation time, some stoppage time as well to come. Duncan cuts it back. Sikulski onto the left, and Murray was right there in well positioned. Well, Connor Hayden, he stuck his arms up there. It was an intentional handball, and well,
just needs to be a bit careful there. And we see Chris Berlin.
Oh, he's very lucky.
On the sideline, ready to go on. He's there with Phil Coyner.
Well, James Cleal, is he going to do anything about this? We'll wait and see. It will be a free kick to Olympic.
Be interesting to see whether we've got a straight swap here with Connor Hayden, because he's had a cracking game, or whether someone else comes off and Berlin and Hayden.
Well, it's an interesting move based on the situation they are now in. So Connor Hayden has been one of their best, Adamstown.
Well, he sure has, and Weapon comes off, Berlin to come on. He'll be a little bit disappointed to come off, because he's in it right till the end. He's fit, he's in good form. Berlin, who will probably feel like he should have started, he's been one of their best all year. He's coming straight into this lineup, and he'll give plenty of energy for the last 5 or so minutes.
So Scott Pettit back on set piece duty. The header took a couple of deflections on the way through, and it's just going to be the goal kick.
Pettit hand on head there. He just knows it could have gone anywhere.
Well, few would have given Adamstown a chance coming into this one against Olympic, who had won 2 straight, looking for 3 consecutive wins for the first time since 2017. And many would have thought they're a sure thing to do that. But at the moment, it's looking tenuous at best.
This Olympic side been frustrated by a Rosebud's team that looked different to when we saw them a couple of weeks ago, but where they had two very clear lines in defence and pretty much didn't move one up top, and Charlestown just couldn't get through. Frustrated Tanchevsky to no end. On this occasion, we're seeing a side that's playing with a 4 and then a 1 in Alex Graham, which I've mentioned several times through the game, which I think has worked for them to a treat and frustrated Olympic, and they've been attacking throughout. And this has been a major difference for the Buds in the way that they've shaped up a 4-1-4-1 formation.
Ben Higgins on the spin. The ball falls for Aidan Von Essen. Now Duncan. Still Duncan. Always rising.
You'll notice on that run there from Berlin, he made a perfectly angled run straight in behind. He was there for the slip pass, and he would have been left one-on-one on the keeper. Timed his run perfectly. He was onside. And again, he's asking the question, why not slide it into me? plenty enough here, the Buds. Keep this momentum going. Keep the pressure on Olympic. Keep attacking is what they're doing. Again, and this time Sokolski, your man, Crush Bart.
Well, Duncan went down on the edge of the 18-yard box. He's just going to take it down into the corner. And he's going to say, Reese Pettit, come across and try and win back possession. And it's almost a one-on-one scrum there. And it will be a goal kick in the end. So Olympic, it doesn't get any easier for them next week. They play Charlestown at home. That's that catch-up match from round 4. That one should be interesting next Saturday afternoon. Looking forward to that. And it's the wet weather catch-up round next week, so that's the reason why there's no actual set fixtures. It's the catch-up matches from round 2 and also round 4. And we will probably be there, CT, at Darling Street for that one. Hamilton v Charlestown. And for Adamstown, next week, as here we see yellow card come out for time wasting. Drew Grierson taking one for the team. It's a clash with the Jets youth on the 12th for Adamstown. So they get a couple of weeks break. They've played all their matches so far. They've been lucky with this pitch being in such pristine condition.
Well, it's been the perfect afternoon, Bart, for football. It's still, the pitch is in perfect condition. If it stays as it is, perfect Anzac Day for the Buds.
Exactly. It's been amazing conditions. Temperatures in the mid-20s, and now Jared Muller after it. Eisenhower reels it in. It'd be difficult to dislodge from that first choice keeper position based on his performance this afternoon. Former Olympic man.
Touch there from Berlin, showing plenty of experience.
Well, doing exactly what he would have liked there. Winning the throw, taking a few more seconds off the clock. Is this drought about to end for Adamstown? Remembering that they haven't beaten Olympic since 2014. What a result it would be. And their last 4 as Sikorski gets cut down legally so by Reese Pettit. They've lost their last 4 against Olympic by a combined margin of 9-1. They've been utterly dominated of late. Just 1 goal in their last 4 against Olympic coming into this one. They've scored 2 this afternoon. Currently it's enough to take all 3 points. Berlin with his back to goal. Goal kick in the end, so Olympic have just pretty much got to launch this, don't they, CT? They haven't got much time remaining.
There's not much time left at all, Bart, and they will launch it. Becoming more desperate as the seconds tick by.
This bounces back to Muller on debut. And now Berlin. This is the end of the pitch where Adamstown will be pleased the ball is. Murray. 1 touch and launches. Straight onto the head though of Ollie Davies, and now Judd Duncan. Had the run of Aidan Von Essen in the end. Took his time and picked the pass to Pappas. Falls for the young man. Aidan Von Essen, does he take on the strike? He doesn't, but he'll win a corner.
There won't be any rush to take this corner, that's for sure, from the Adamstown Rosebuds.
Well, we are deep in stoppage time now. They're almost there, the Buds. For a famous Anzac Day victory, it would be. And Sikorski chatting to Aidan Von Essen about a short corner to play it down into that corner, but it's not going to happen. Well, they're yelling at Aidan Von Essen, telling him to go to the corner, because they don't want to knock this long. And it's Manoli Pappas who goes down there. And Adamstown have produced an incredible Anzac Day upset.
1.
The Buds defeating Olympic for the first time since 2014. And it was Connor Hayden who sent them on that path with a first half goal to put them ahead by a goal to nil. Jake McGuinness responded to make it 1-1. And then Manoli Pappas with his first in the NPL Northern New South Wales to make it 2-1. No goals in the second half. Adamstown were able to withstand the pressure from Hamilton Olympic. And that result moves them up one place on the ladder tonight. They'll sit on 6 points with a 2-week break now. Their second victory of the season, and back to the drawing board for Hamilton Olympic. They were humming along. Now they've got to regroup and focus on Charlestown. That clash next Saturday at Darling Street. Full time at Adamstown Oval. Adamstown Rosebud 2, Hamilton Olympic 1. CT. Adamstown, when we commentate, a 2 from 2.
Yeah, well, if I was their coach, I'd want us to keep turning up every week. But what we have seen is in the last couple of games is two contrasting styles of play that they've put out. The last time we saw them against Charlestown, it was very much two lines and hard to penetrate and playing on the counter-attack. Today they attacked themselves and put Hamilton Olympic under a huge amount of pressure, creating opportunities and getting the result that they deserved in the end with a 2-1 victory. Overall, Olympic will be completely frustrated by that because they probably weren't expecting that based on previous performances. I guess Coach McGuinness would have been expecting that they'd dominate more possession and be looking how they're going to break them down, and that may have been the mindset. He used the word banana peel. This game could be to them, slip away from them if they're not careful, and that's exactly what's happened here this afternoon. Take nothing away from the Buds. They've had a great afternoon of football. The pitch has been perfect. Great day on Anzac Day. They thoroughly deserve the win, and they'll go out and enjoy themselves after this game because they've put in a big effort today, and all of their players did what they were required to do, and they've had a great performance.
Well, you can hear the boys going to the changing rooms. They are about to belt out one of the loudest renditions of the Rosebuds team song that you will hear. We might even hear it. We might see if we can grab someone as well, CT, maybe after they've had a song and dance, or should we just leave it? Should we let them enjoy it?
Well, they've gone into the sheds, and to drag them out might be trying to pull a tooth from a tiger, to be honest. We'll leave them on this occasion, but I think that, look, you know, anything that would be coming probably from any of those players or coaching staff was that big effort. They've had to work particularly hard to get to where they did. They had a plan. That plan was a 4-1-4-1 formation, and it worked. And the fact that Graham was sitting in that one position screening all day and keep the attackers guessing on where he's going to be. Does a midfielder picking him up or does defence, and act as a transition? I thought he did very well for them in that position. But hats off to the coaching staff of Adamstown Rosebuds because that formation worked against the Olympic side today.
Yeah, and you'd obviously be so impressed with the contrast in styles that we've seen. Adamstown showing that they can play, however, you know, they can go out and play attacking football and get the result as they had this afternoon, and play that defensive style where they parked a couple of buses and got the job done against Charlestown.
Yeah, I mean, two completely different games, and again, credit to the coaching staff here, because if you've got that level of variance in the way that you're set up, it's a credit to the way you're training, and that being the case, it's come out and worked for them this afternoon. So, look, Adamstown Rosebuds will be ecstatic for this win. They're going to have to reproduce that next week. It'll be interesting to see what style they come out with in their next encounter, whether they stay with that one. It's a good one. It worked. It certainly did against Olympic. Just finally, I want to ask you about Olympic. What went wrong this afternoon? Because they looked impotent in the front third. Yeah, look, for me, they didn't create enough possession in their general play, and that's been a strength of theirs. They play out from the back. Last year was a criticism where they leaked a lot of goals because they played out from the back, but Peter McGuinness has worked hard on that, and they've been doing really well in getting themselves out of the back third into the middle of the park, and then the strike power they've got forward in their upper end in players, you know, like Sutherland, Hornery, Shinichi, Kawachi, and Scott Pettit. These guys are all really good attackers, and then today you had sitting in behind them Jake McGuinness and Reece Cooper. So, look, they didn't have enough possession as what I thought they would do, and as a result, Adamstown just kept going and they kept building in confidence. And you could see as the game went on through the second half, they had the belief that they could win that and created more opportunity. So very frustrating for Hamilton Olympic, but as I said before, take nothing away from Adamstown Rosebud, who's deserved the win this afternoon.
Well, CT, thank you very much for summing that one up nice and neatly. And Adamstown, huge result. Yes, the scoreboard is correct. Adamstown have upset Hamilton Olympic by 2-1 here at Adamstown Oval on Anzac Day. A reminder that next week we will be back with you at Darling Street, Hamilton Olympic against Charlestown. That's an important match for both sides because both of them have been slipping up lately.
Yeah, and both sides will be desperate for the win also. So we'll look forward to that one. And Olympic will go back and they'll work hard over the next week or so to rectify what went wrong today.
Well, thanks for your company this afternoon from Adamstown Oval. Adamstown, too good in the end for Hamilton Olympic, winning by 2-1. We'll catch you next week.